bless each of these graduates. Give them the grace to make a difference for the good wherever they may find themselves in the years ahead. For those who will pursue further education, grant not only the knowledge they will need in their chosen fields, but also wisdom to apply that knowledge to life as they go ahead. For those who will be going directly into the workforce, give a sense of what is right and good and appropriate and often confusing issues they will face. For those in military service, may they draw courage and strength from you. May they serve our country and all of humanity with integrity and honor. For all of these graduates and the families of which they are a part, we ask that they may make a significant contribution to the general welfare of society. May they especially be a blessing to those whose lives they personally touch. And now may you be pleased with what is done here this afternoon. Thank you for your presence. It is in the name above all others that I pray. Amen.
Thank you, Raymond, and you may be seated. Commencement 2013 is a very special event in the history of our university. I now invite John Lovato, President of SIU, to come forward to share with you what makes today's commencement so important in connecting the past, honoring the present, and preparing for the future. President Lovato.
Thank you, and welcome all of you. It's my humble privilege to speak here, to recognize and to honor you graduates. When we talk about connecting the past, honoring the present, preparing for the future, there's a great deal we can talk about, but today I just want to talk about three simple words that connect, honor, prepare, and bind us in time. Words we use all the time, but words that are very powerful, and when linked together, they become even more powerful. And those three words are simply imagine, believe, and achieve. Imagination links us to yesterday. We hear stories of what was, and we imagine that we were there. Imagination prepares us for tomorrow, for what can be, for what will be. Imagination is a preview. Most of you have gone to the movies, I'm assuming, right? And at the movies, they have previews, which for many of us are the highlight of the movie. It's a preview of what's to come. Your imagination is a preview for you of your life, of what's to come for you. And you need to learn how to use it. and channel it. It's a powerful thing. It's so powerful, in fact, this makes sense to children. Sometimes it doesn't make sense to adults. But when we say anything's possible, and you just need to imagine it, I want anybody here to raise their hand if they can tell me something they cannot imagine. You can't. Because by your very imagination, it exists. It's incredibly powerful. Believe. Believe in what? Believe in yourself. First and foremost, believe in yourself. A person who does not believe in herself should enlist with the enemy, take up arms against yourself because you've lost. Believe in yourself. If you don't believe in yourself, you can't believe in others. You can't believe in God. Believing in yourself, it opens up your heart to God's graces. God doesn't just hand them out. He doesn't hand out his gifts. Your heart must be open. You must put yourself in the way of those gifts. And you must believe in yourself. Some of you say, no, that doesn't work. It's better to be lucky than good. Many of you know that saying? I say, okay, it's better to be lucky than good. Maybe. But even if you believe that, you have to believe in yourself. If the ball takes a lucky bounce and you caught it, you say it took a lucky bounce. Now, you have to put yourself in the way of that bounce. You have to put yourself in the way of fortune. And it starts with believing in yourself. Practicing, thinking you can feel the ball, knowing how to catch it. I heard one of the students, it doesn't matter which one, after a test saying, boy, I got really lucky. The teacher asked the one question I knew how to answer. Now, I would not encourage you to study that way, but I would say you didn't get lucky. You put yourself in the way of good fortune. You studied a little bit, you at least knew one answer, and you went to class that day and took a good. More often than not, we don't put ourselves in the way of good fortune. We say, I'm just not going to go. You at least put yourself in the way of good fortune. There's many ways to say it, right? The same thing, we could say, the race is not to the swift nor the battle to the strong, but time and chance happen to them all. It's the same thing. It says it's better to be lucky than good. Put yourself in the way of God's graces. Put yourself in the way of good fortune by believing in yourself, opening up your heart. Last one is achieve. Imagine, believe, achieve. Who achieves? Believers achieve. What do you believe in? You believe in your imagination. And that's what you're able to achieve. And so I'll tell you a couple of stories. People that know me say, please don't tell me stories. But the power of belief, imagination, believing, and achieving. So some of you know, I'm a city boy through and through. I grew up in San Francisco Bay Area. I came to West Virginia. Wasn't even sure it was a state 2 years ago. Since then, I have fallen in love with it. I couldn't imagine being anywhere else. And when I was looking for a home, the real estate people kept taking me to Bridgeport. They kept taking me to the golf course. They kept and I fell in love with this neat little home. You take the 4-lane to the 2-lane to a dirt road. It's at the end of the dirt road. And I live there now. I couldn't imagine living there anywhere else. But the first thing I had to do was imagine myself there. If I didn't imagine myself there, there is an irrational, sensible part of me that said, John, it's a good idea for you to live at the end of a dirt road in the middle of the Appalachian Mountains by yourself. But I imagined myself there. And I imagined the stars and the beauty, and I think it lost its governmental distinction as a farm the minute I set foot on it. But, so that was the first thing. The second thing I had to do was believe. I had to believe I could do it. I don't know a thing about farming. I don't know a thing about driving a tractor. I had never shot a rifle in my life. But I had to believe I could do it. And I caught myself saying, and by the grace of God, I have good neighbors who have taught me many of those things. But I had to put myself in that way. I had to get out of my car, stop on the road, and reach out to them. And I put myself in the way of that grace. And then I had to achieve, right? I had to work hard, cut grass and build a chicken house. I'm raising chickens, don't ask me why, it's a fun thing to do. But I had to imagine, believe, and achieve. Those of you that are in school, Some of you are going to continue school. Apply that to the next paper you write. It's very simple. You imagine when you turn it in what you're going to feel like. I'm serious. If you're in high school, if you're going on to graduate school, whatever if you're writing a report for your boss, the first thing to do is imagine what you feel like. Imagine I'm earning an A. Imagine I feel ecstatic when it's done. Whatever it is, because that'll drive the process. Imagine, and then believe you can do it. Imagine what you're going to feel like before you do it. If you're a basketball player, when you shoot a free throw, more often than not, you imagine the ball's going in, right? You don't imagine it's going to clank off the back of the rim. Because if you do that, it's probably not. Imagine what that's going to feel like when you turn it in. Believe you can do it. Work hard to do it. Working hard, in and of itself, doesn't work. It has to be coupled with imagination and belief. Right? There are people that work hard, and you go, what are you doing? And it's because you say, they're working really hard, they're creating a lot of activity, but they haven't linked their imagination and their belief with all of their action. Combine those, and they become powerful. They become powerful for you. So I'm going to end with something simple that you can say to your husband or your wife, your parents, or whoever, and it'll combine the three. You have to think about it for a minute, but it combines imagine, belief, and achieve. And you say it in the first person. Can you imagine what I would do if I could do all I can? Can you imagine what I would do if I could do all I can? Imagine, believe, you'll achieve. Thank you very much.
Thank you, President Mulatto. It's now my pleasure to introduce to you J. William Brooks, Chancellor of Salem International University. Chancellor Brooks will introduce the guest speaker for today's commencement.
Thank you, Dr. Harrison. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm pleased to introduce today's commencement 2013 speaker, Gail Conley Manchin. Mrs. Manchin has served the constituents, the students, and the state of West Virginia in many ways. In her role as wife of United States Senator Joe Manchin, she continues her strong support of and the commitment to our great state. Mrs. Manchin was appointed to the West Virginia State Board of Education in 2007 to serve a 9-year term ending 2015. She was elected Vice President of the Board in 2011. She is the immediate past President of the National State Boards of Education and serves on the Executive Board. In addition, she serves as the chair of the Reconnecting McDowell Incorporated, a non-profit organization implementing a holistic approach to education in rural West Virginia. She attended West Virginia University, where she attained her bachelor's degree in language arts and education and a master's in reading. She also holds a second master's specialization in education technology leadership from where else but Salem International University. Mrs. Manchin, a native of Raleigh County, taught in Marion County schools and at Fairmont State University. She also was the director of the college's first community service learning program. While living in Marion County, she was active in her children's activities and community advocacy. She has also been integrally involved with AmeriCorps projects and America's Promise for many years. In Charleston, Mrs. Manchin worked at the Office of the Secretary of Education and the Arts, where she implemented the WV Pass, or WV Partnership to Assure Student Success Initiative. In addition to her duties as a member of the West Virginia State Board of Education, she has served as West Virginia's First Lady, a commissioner on the West Virginia Commission for National and Community Service, the chairwoman of the Governor's Healthy Lifestyles Coalition, and the West Virginia Citizen Council on Children and Families, and is co-chair of the Governor's 21st Century Jobs Cabinet and Intellectual Infrastructure Vision Chair. She is an emeritus member of the Education Alliance, a past president of the Vidalia Rotary Club of Charleston, the Black Diamond Girl Scouts Council, the the Children's Trust Fund, and the Mountaineer Food Bank, and the Clay Center Board. In Washington, Mrs. Manchin is corresponding secretary of the Senate Spouses, a member of the International Free Neighbors Club, and serves on the board of Portland's Kids, a nonprofit serving at-risk youth in the D.C. area. Mrs. Manchin and Senator Joe Manchin have been married 45 years, have 3 children, and 8 grandchildren. Please join me in welcoming Gail Conley Manchin.
It is certainly my honor and pleasure to be here with you all this afternoon. And the first thing I'd like to say is congratulations to each and every one of you, to our graduates today, to the family and friends that are here sharing this day with them. Everyone here today knows, as was said earlier by the provost, that none of you are here because of what you have done individually, but rather you are here because of what your family and friends have done to support your hopes and dreams collectively with each of you. So I would ask you to just take a moment and look around at those people that have believed so much in you and reflect on what a wonderful moment it is today that you are here in this room sharing with the people that love and care about you the very most. Secondly, I would like to certainly give my utmost admiration and congratulations to the president, to the provost, to all of the staff and administration, to the chancellor, to the faculty, for the tremendous opportunity that they share in being able to be here for this graduation today. For the world that they are offering the students, not only from West Virginia, but from around the world. You know, we talk all the time about a 21st century education, but Salem International University aptly exemplifies the new paradigm in their education of having the opportunity to learn in a truly international, global setting, but right here in West Virginia. And this is what should define education today, meeting the needs of students and supporting them where they are, but also affording them the skill sets to move into the 21st century jobs wherever they go. Those of you that are here today as graduates are actually defying the odds. Many more students begin a post-secondary education than finish, if you look at the statistics nationally. And some of you may have actually started a post-secondary education earlier. Some of you may have deferred to take a job. Some of you may be here because of the loss of a job. But whatever your reason, whether you are the traditional or the non-traditional student, something prompted you to come here and something prompted you to stay and to finish. One of the dilemmas facing higher education today is being sure that we provide the rigor, the relevance, and the resources to engage students, educate them, and graduate them to meet the challenges of the job market today. For those of you in the audience that are my age, and there's probably not a whole lot of here, but I grew up in an age that if I graduated from high school and I got a college education, I could be pretty assured that if I got a job in my field, I had job security for life until I retired. If I met the requirements of that job and did what I was supposed to do, then I had a great job security. And at one point in time, there was, in West Virginia particularly, for those of you that are from this area, you really didn't even need a college degree to have a really good job. When coal mines were up and operating, students could leave school at 16 years of age and get a great job and provide for a family. But we all know in this room and across the state that that's no longer the case. Your job security is about today. And the skills that you have obtained through your degree prepare you for a job today. In order to maintain that level of success, it will totally depend upon you and what you believe in committing yourself to reinvesting and continually learning. Because education, you will find, is a lifelong endeavor. And the jobs of today will not be the jobs of tomorrow. The jobs that you get when you leave college today will not be a guarantee for a lifetime, nor should they be. You should always be looking for the challenges, for the next level, for the way to continue to better yourself so that you can grow into the jobs of the future as well as today. And what your degree from Salem International University has done, it has empowered you that you're able to go to the top of these beautiful Appalachian mountains that the President just spoke about, and you can both literally and virtually see the world. And because of that, your world will never be the same. I can remember when I got my master's specialization degree here in educational leadership technology. I was at the top of my game. Not so much anymore, because technology changes every day. But what did that degree give me? It gave me the tools so that as the technology changed, I would be able to grow and change with it. It equipped me to be able to deal today with the technology of the 21st century in the same way the degree enabled me to deal with the technology of the 20th century. Anthony Robbins is a motivational speaker, and he speaks across the country, he speaks to leaders. And one of the things that he talks about is insecurity. And now, most people never feel really secure because they're always worried that they may lose their job. They're worried that they may lose their money that they've invested. They worry that they may lose their spouse, lose their health. And it goes on and on and on, the things that we worry about that we may lose. And if we look around the country today, not only within our personal lives, but the horrific incidents that have touched all of our lives around this country, you realize that there is a great sense of fear and apprehension across the country, across people, whether the incidents have touched our lives personally, it touches us in a way that we didn't believe living in this country that our lives would be touched. And so Anthony Robbins goes on to talk about the fact that the only true sense of security comes from knowing that every day you can improve yourself in some way. That you are every day increasing the caliber of who you are and what you are and the value that you add to your company, to your family, to your community, and to the state in which you live. So yes, we do come here today to celebrate a milestone in your life, an accomplishment, and an achievement that you may or may not have believed were possible. I would say that there were some of you in the audience today that knew from the beginning that you were going to go to college and you were going to be successful and get a degree. And there are some of you that came to college, weren't too sure what you were going to do, and are pretty surprised that you're sitting here today in a cap and gown, graduating. But there are also some of you in the audience today that never believed that college was for you, that you would ever have the opportunity to sit here today in a gown, a cap and gown, and be graduated. And what you proved, all of you, those who knew you were coming, those that are surprised that you're here, and those that never believed that they could be here, is that you are proving what determination and a dream can do. And for all the young children that are sitting out in the audience, if these are your children, or your nieces, or your nephews, or your friends, understand that when you walk across the stage today, you're saying to every child in this audience, you too can walk across the stage in a cap and gown. So this is a responsibility that you have, not only to yourself, but to the others for which you are the model. We sometimes forget in our own hurry, our lives, we have to do in our schedules, that there are people every day watching what we are doing. Whether it's family, friends, maybe even people that you don't even know their names. They see you. They see what you are doing. And so be sure that in your everyday life, as a college student, and then as a community citizen, that you present the model that you want those that are looking so closely at you. Be sure that they see the person that you really are. None of us have any idea what tomorrow may bring for us in terms of new opportunities, careers that don't even exist today. I can remember when my husband was elected governor of the state of West Virginia. Every once in a while there was a reporter that wanted to talk to me. And so one of them said to me, "What makes you qualified to serve as the First Lady of West Virginia?" And I thought, well, gee, I'd never been asked that question before. And I thought to myself, when I went to college, there wasn't a class called First Lady 101 that I could elect to take. And so what did make me qualified to serve as the First Lady of West Virginia? Well, one thing, I was married to Joe Manchin for 40 years, and I thought that was a really good reason right there. I could ignore it. But more importantly, I thought every experience that I have had in life, every opportunity that I took advantage of, every class that I took, every community project that I served in to help make my community better, everything, every person that I had the opportunity to meet and have a conversation with, that's what gave me the qualifications to serve as First Lady. So remember that you are educated, your certification is in your degree, but never miss out on an opportunity to continue to learn, to meet, to have experiences through your work, through your associations, through your opportunities to travel, whatever they may be. Be sure to take advantage of each and every one of them. And I would only add one caveat to that. Content knowledge is wonderful. And so part of the degree that you take home with you today is the content knowledge that you have proven that you have. But know that deep down inside of you are qualities that can't be quantified. They can't be tested. It's your level of determination. It's your level of commitment. It's your passion for what you do and the way you do it. That's what will carry you through in your future. Tom Brokaw said, "You are educated, your certification is in your degree. You may think of it as a ticket to the good life. Let me ask you to think of it as an alternative. Think of it as your ticket to change the world. You can change the world from anywhere you are. don't ever forget that you can make a difference every day in the life of someone around you. And so, as someone else once said, success is a journey, not a destination. So congratulations to each and every one of you in the center today. And Godspeed to each and every one of you on your journey through life. Thank you so much.
President Wato to join Mrs. Manton in front of the podium. We would like to present her with a special plaque. Year-long celebration, so we really appreciate that, Gail. At this time, I would like to present the faculty speaker for today's commencement, Dr. Craig McClellan. He was nominated by his colleagues to represent them in the commencement message from the faculty this afternoon. Dr. McClellan is Dean of the School of Education and represents the university by being involved in several statewide initiatives. He is currently serving as the chair of the Teacher Education Advisory Council for the state of West Virginia. He's also active in service on the West Virginia Department of Education Stakeholders Group to improve education. Under Dr. McClellan's leadership, the School of Education has gained full West Virginia Department of Education approval and is a candidate for national accreditation through the National Council for the Accreditation of Teacher Education. We are pleased to welcome Dr. Craig McClellan.
Thank you, and good afternoon. I would like to begin by thanking my colleagues for this opportunity to address the Salem International University Class of 2013. I accept it with the most sincere humility and honor. Irish playwright George Bernard Shaw wrote, "Life is no brief candle to me. It is a sort of splendid torch which I've got hold of for the moment, and I want to make it burn as brightly as possible before handing it to future generations. Today, the flame for your torch grows brighter. That flame is a college degree. That degree has the ability to open many doors for you. Acquiring that degree has already changed your life in ways that you may not even yet be aware of. Perhaps it has continued your family tradition of college education. Perhaps you are the first to earn a college degree in your family. Hopefully, if we've done our jobs, it has given you the knowledge and ability to perform in a profession that you have always wanted to be a part of. Perhaps earning this degree was a major accomplishment because you did it without financial support from your parents or guardians. Perhaps you earned it while working full-time and raising your family. Whatever your situation is, your degree can be powerful. It now makes you part of a small percentage of individuals who have accomplished this educational goal. Now, what are you going to do with it? What doors and how many will you open with it? How bright can you make your torch glow? SIU Executive Vice President Eric Kirkland once told me that he overcame a lot, worked very hard, and led an ordinary life so that his son had the ability to live an extraordinary life. What kind of life will you live? What kind of life will you empower others to live? Your college degree can do many things for you, but never doubt the ability it has to to enable you to live an extraordinary life. So my challenge to you today is go do it. Don't be ordinary. Don't be average. Be extraordinary. Make sure that when you pass your torch to the future generations, it will empower them to do even greater things than you were able to accomplish. Use your degree like a tool. Use it like a hammer and nails to build your life. An amazing life. Don't be one of these people who, when life comes to an end, you are fighting for more time, always wishing you hadn't wasted time and energy doing this or that. Don't live your life with regrets. Make sure that when your time comes, you can say to your Maker, Lord, I am ready to go. I have done all there is to do here to the best of my ability, and I am ready for what is next. Always strive to achieve the extraordinary goal of leaving this world a better place simply because you walked here, worked here, and loved here for a little while. How do you live an extraordinary life? It really is rather simple. It's not always easy, but it is simple. You be the best person you can possibly be. You take your degree and strong character and go face life's challenges. Do these simple things to make your torch burn at extraordinary levels. Be the best person you can be. Don't be average. Never boast that you're just an average person. The world is full of average people. Don't be one of them. Be extraordinary. Don't be an average worker, parent, spouse, or friend. Make mistakes. Learn from them. Make some more. Learn from them too. When you stop making mistakes and learning from them, you aren't living life. Laugh a lot. Love a lot. Love with your whole heart. Never close your heart to someone because they could be the one who eventually changes your life forever. Don't deny yourself the opportunity to know someone because they look different than you or see the world differently than you do. Not judging others is hard, and I have to admit I haven't mastered it yet myself. I know, however, that extraordinary people don't judge others. Make sure your word matters. Make sure people know that when you say you will do something, that you'll do it. Always be dependable. Extraordinary people are the ones others can always count on. Never get labeled as unreliable. Extraordinary people are never unreliable. And employers never want folks who are unreliable. And most importantly, never doubt how destructive a lie can be in all areas of your life. Finally, never be afraid to tell someone you care about them or love them. No one is promised tomorrow. That exact moment when you were thinking it, that could be the last moment you get to spend with that person. Say it to them. Tell them how you feel. If you get mad, say that too, and then get over it. Life is just easier that way. Extraordinary people know, however, that some things can't be unsaid. So always be careful with your words, especially when you're angry. So go today. Take your degree in a strong moral character. March through as many doors as you can open in life. Sometimes you may have to take some risks and kick a few down by proving yourself. Regardless of the challenges you may face, never let the flame in your torch grow dim. Do things to always keep it burning brightly. And when the time comes, pass it on to future generations and make sure it's the brightest that it has ever been. So go, class of 2013. Go be extraordinary.
Thank you, Dr. McClellan. It's now my pleasure to invite to the podium Dr. Eric Kirkland, and Dr. Kirkland will be introducing our student speaker today.
Well, prepared marks for me on the book here, but I'm not going to use it. As you can imagine, I seldom follow rules. It's my pleasure to introduce senior class speaker, Mr. Steve Pop. He's been the head softball coach for 5 years. 3 years before that, he was the assistant softball coach. leadership of the team has been outstanding as they've grown over time. We look forward to this team being successful in the GMAC next year, although we're not trying to put any pressure on them. It's also remarkable to see as the fourth member of this family to graduate from Salem. His daughters Alicia and Edie graduated the previous year. Alexis is graduating this year. I'm sure that we'll bear the city's completing that Bachelor of Science in Business soon or law, which is quite an achievement. I'm equally sure that he and Alexis will enjoy being members of the class of 2013 for years to come. His wife Marcia and his other daughter April is proud to be his wheel. This year's graduating class also includes members of the first team that Steve recruited as head softball coach. And I'm sure this moment is special for them as they graduate with their coach. And he exemplifies his dedication to lifelong learning, which is confident in his coaches and old time. And it inspires all of us to remember what an outstanding example he's provided for us. For this year's commencement, Steve was selected by his fellow students almost by acclamation. Of course, he's well qualified to take the microphone in my league. He's been the voice of the Tiger athletic teams for several years. I am a little concerned. Members of his team prefer to remain anonymous, say that once you get Steve talking, there's no telling where he might go or when he might quiet down. But I look forward to what he has to say. Please welcome me joining head softball coach and summa cum laude graduate of Salem International University, Mr. Steve Pine.
Thank you, Dr. Kirkland. I also want to thank Dr. Harrison for your encouragement over the years. President Wada, Chancellor Brooks, for taking a chance on me. It's worked out okay. The faculty here at Salem and my fellow graduates for bestowing this great honor on me. This is probably one of the happiest days of my life. Also want to thank the staff here at Salem for the wonderful job that they do and the hard work and dedication that they put into their jobs, making this university a good experience for the students and the institution. Also, special thanks to Tanner Hill for prodding and pushing me to get started on and finishing my degree. Also, wish to thank my softball team and my daughter Alexis for their encouragement as we've worked together in obtaining our degrees. Last and most importantly, I want to thank my family, who's always been there for me through the encouragement and support. I stand here today before all of you as a college graduate, joining my other three daughters, as Dr. Kirkland said, as a proud Salem International alumni. When Dr. Harrison informed me that I was chosen to speak in front of you all, she advised me that my speech was to be a motivational speech. I'm sure my softball team has never been an experience of motivational speech from me. So this is kind of a collage of all my speeches. But after careful consideration, I thought of 3 points that have inspired me through the years. And again, as I mentioned before, the first motivating factor for me was my family. And the support that I've received in difficult times have kept me on course and kept me centered. I hope that every graduate here can stake claim that their family has been a motivational part of their life. As I look through this assembly today, I see families that have traveled a far distance to be here to experience this time. They have chosen to be a part of a great step in your life. In many of our business courses, we address who we are, and I believe that family, our family, is who we are. Whether it's your immediate family or your SIU family that sits behind me to my right. Now that you've come to this point in your life, do not forget that everyone here at Salem is there for you, will always be there for you. We'd like to take time to tell our family how important they are too. Always take the time. No matter how busy your life seems to be, always take the time to tell somebody in your family, tell all your family members how important they are. Take time to tell them how much they mean to you and how much you love them, because there may come a day when it's too late to tell someone. The second point of the motivation for me that I found is a speech that I heard some years ago. The preacher was giving a sermon about our daily life and used a phrase that stuck with me for all these years. He said, "Improve daily." That's such a simplistic phrase, but it struck a chord with me that has rang to me through the years. If you go out and strive to improve your life every day, in some aspect, then I guarantee you it'll be a good day. Improve on being a parent, a son, a daughter, employee, employer, or just being a good human being. If you go out and strive to improve your life every day, in some aspect, then I guarantee it'll be a good day. When you find yourself sitting around complaining about your job, your spouse, your children, ask yourself this question: what am I doing to make the situation better or improving upon the situation? When I have my softball players come to my office when they're struggling with certain aspects of their life or problems that they can't resolve, one of the first questions I ask them is, what are you doing to change the situation? What are you doing to help the situation? Always sit back and reflect on that. If we strive to perform that simplistic phrase of improve daily, just imagine how great the world will be. The third point that has always been motivating me is another phrase that I heard years ago, and my softball team knows that I'm always giving them phrases or little sayings. But one of the sayings that I heard was never give up. The easy path in life is to quit. It's always easy to give up on your dream or your goals. But I hope when those tough times come upon you, that you remember these words, never give up. I tell my team all the time, never give up. When the difficulties of life come up, when tough times fall upon you, I assure you that there's going to be tough times and difficult times. I ask you to always think of that phrase, never give up. Don't quit on life. Never quit on your goals. Don't quit on yourself. It's too easy to quit. And life is difficult. But through determination and the will to succeed, any problem can be conquered. I would also advise you to approach life with enthusiasm, because problems and issues can be resolved if you approach with enthusiasm. Walt Whitman said that nothing great can be achieved without enthusiasm. That's a phrase I always tell my players. And so graduates, I ask that you have a zeal for life and a determination to never give up. In closing, I'm sure my softball team's happy to hear those words. I tell my softball team all the time that it's very important to have family. I try to teach my team to always think of each other as family. Now, it doesn't mean that families don't always argue and fight, but at the end of the day, you can always look at each other and say that we mean something to each other and we're a family when we strive to do those things. I tell them to improve daily in their softball game and their softball life. And I always ask that they never give up, and they never have. Improve daily in aspects of your lives. Strive to make your life, the lives around you better. And remember, please remember that phrase, never give up on your goals, your dreams, your family, or life itself. And again, thank you all. Thank you for this great honor. This is the greatest day of my life. And it's a great honor to be able to stand in front of you and speak to you all. I hope that you can use what I've said today in the future. And I pray that all the graduates here today and their families have a wonderful, prosperous life. Good luck, and may God bless you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Steve, and congratulations to the Salem International Class of 2013. I am pleased to introduce Mr. Jim Rogers, who will announce the candidates that they are finally going to be recognized. We will begin with our MBA candidates, and I invite Dr. Mark Bennett, Dean of the School of Business, to present the Master of Business Administration graduates.
Master of Business Administration, please rise. Dr. Harrison, I have the honor to present the Salem International University Master of Business Administration graduates 2013.
And now, by the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees and upon the approval of the Board of Trustees with the faculty concurrence, it gives me great pleasure to confer upon you the stimulating degree you have earned and invest you with all the rights and privileges that pertain thereto.
Candidates, please come forward. When you're over the time, receive your diploma. And as your name is read, return to the row.
Tracy Akinkubi. Rebecca Jane Cumberly. Carl B. Duvall. Corinne Nicole Fields. Jason Wayne Hoiberg. Paul Daniel Gleason. Corey David Hall. Shalanda Kendrick. Tammy Lavender. Jadine P. Martin. Ferdinand Mandanella. Kenneth Curtis Minor. Wook Nam Tham. Ramesh Ramalingam. Lawrence S. Green. Matthew L. Rose. Ashton Nicole Short. Peter Sagan Spain. John St. Val. Jerica Lynn Vaughn. James Edward White Jr. Maxim Zakarian.
Our new
Will the candidates for the Master of Education degrees please rise? Dr. Harrison, I have the honor to present the Salem International University Master of Education graduates of 2013.
And now, by the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees and upon the approval of the Board of Trustees with the faculty concurring, it gives me great pleasure to confer upon you the stipulated degree you have earned and invest you with all the rights and privileges that pertain thereto.
Will the candidates please come forward, one row at a time, and receive your diplomas as your name is read, and then return to your row.
Angel Renee Gursky. Nicole Lynn Maurer.
A hand for our new MEDs. I will now present degrees to the associate and bachelor degree graduates. Will the candidates for Bachelor of Arts, Bachelor of Science, Bachelor of Science in Business Administration, and Associate of Science degrees please stand? International University class of 2013. And now, by the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees and upon the approval of the Board of Trustees with the faculty concurring, it gives me great pleasure to confer upon you the stipulated degree you have earned and invest you with all the rights and privileges that pertain thereto. Will the candidates please come forward one day at a time, receive your diploma as your name is read, and then return to your room.
Ashley Nicole Berry. Desiree Alexia Dwyer. KK LeBrew. Marcus Moody. Juanito G. Moisty. Nina Marie Mullen. Marcy Ann Purdue. Jack A. Thompson. Amber Nicole Sexton. Veronica Tiffany Wheeler. Haley T. Wilson. Jason Perry Barnes. Alan Boyd. Shanice Brannon. Macia Brown. Dennis Paul Carlson. Chen Her Chen. Kevin Andrew Gilbert. Kendall Anthony Holt. Jacob Earl Miller. Scarlett Montemuller. Haley Christina Nelson. Jared L. Peters. Jamel Demetrius. Dwayne. Christoph Piercella. Alexis Elaine Fox. Steve Wayne Fox. Corey W. Crawford. Jeremy Devon Sewell. Elliot Mark Swatley. Emily Jean Webb. Nicholas Anthony Arena. Lise Marie Couturier. Michael Anthony Holbert II. Miles Stanley Schwartz. William McDaniels. Jane Johnson. Ashley Marie Cole. James Wise.
Roll call, Bachelor of Arts, Bachelor of Science, Bachelor of